Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Cece, and if you're seeing this, that means that I have successfully lost 155 pounds. That is my goal. You will not see this until I hit that goal, which is why I know that I will have if you're watching this. And I'll link my full transformation video in the description below for you. Today I'm going to do a what I eat in a day video. I have lost 100 pounds since 2016, basically. I've lost 60 of that this year since February. So yeah, I've been doing calorie counting using MyFitnessPal, and today I'm going to just walk through what I eat to try to hit my calories. I'm aiming for about 1,500. It's November 2nd, which means it was just Halloween. It was just my son's first birthday. So yeah, the calories this weekend were not what I wanted them to be. So I'm going to try to reel it in for the rest of the week. Yesterday was a good day. I had 1,536 calories. So I'm hoping to hit at least that, if not lower, today. So I'm going to bring you along with me and show you what that looks like. All right. So the first thing I start with every morning is coffee. And I do 2 tablespoons of fat-free milk with 1 tablespoon of a sugar-free syrup. I like the Fairlife fat-free milk because it has more protein. This one has, it's kind of dark, 9 grams of protein. The Fairlife version is 80 for a cup, and it has 12 or 13 grams of protein. So that's the one I prefer. Just it's ultra filtered. This one is lactose free. I don't know if it's ultra pasteurized. So any of those that are like that usually up the protein a bit, but still have the low calories. So that's what I go for. And then this skinny syrup, there's lots of different flavors. I have a couple here. There's a ton. I get them off Amazon. They're amazing. They are 0 calories for a whole ounce. And I don't use an ounce. I use 1 tablespoon per cup. So we are, this for a tablespoon is about 5.6 calories. So for a whole cup of coffee, it's just about 12-ish calories. So when I track it in MyFitnessPal, I usually round up and I'll say that for 2 cups of coffee, it is 30 calories. And I do that, and you'll see as I'm tracking today, I usually overestimate just because I want to make sure that I'm not under guessing. So, and I've got my tablespoon, so I'm just going to measure the milk and the syrup and then pour my coffee in and start my day. All right, so there's the coffee. I'm going to have at least 2 cups today. The sun is barely up. It's like 6:50, maybe it's 7 by now. So I try not to eat my first meal until at least 10 or 11. So we'll see if we can make it 4 hours on 2 cups of coffee. We might have to expand that a little or eat earlier than I planned. So we'll see how it goes, but that is how I start every day. 12 calories for a delicious, sweet, warm cup of coffee. Okay, we are back. I have some makeup on my face, so I look a little bit more alive than I did this morning, and the sun is shining, so all good things, all good things. I'm starving. I've had 2 cups of coffee, 1.5, and I am starving, so I am gonna have a protein bar. And they are like 180 calories. Let's just look. Should we just look? Let's just look. 15 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 3 net carbs, and 180 calories. So, it's always backwards. I always want to do that. It's always backwards. I'm going to have this with the rest of my coffee, and then I will make leftover pozole for lunch, which should be low calories because I'm making a beef stroganoff with noodles. So I'm going to eat my carbs at dinner, try to do less at lunch. It's kind of how I try to balance it. So, Quest Crispy Chocolate Caramel Pecan Protein Bar for breakfast snack. Okay, we are back again, and I'm getting ready to make dinner. I'm gonna do it in the crock pot because I have stew meat, which I want to cook for a while because stew meat's so chewy. So I'm gonna be doing like a modified beef stroganoff. I am not one to follow recipes. It's just like not my thing. I wing it a lot more often than not. So I'm loosely gonna be following the beef stroganoff McCormick's recipe. But you'll see, I'm just kind of going to dump it and just try to make something taste good in the crock pot. So I'm going to show you what I put in the crock pot and how I make that. And then I'll let that cook for several hours tonight. And then for dinner, I'll cook up some egg noodles and I'll mix in some light sour cream with it so it's nice and creamy. We have a nice sauce to put over the noodles. But that is the plan for tonight's dinner. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is this stew meat, and I'm sorry for the background plate, it's thawing. But this beef stew meat is from a cow that we bought, grass-fed cow that we got, and we had them package the stew meat in 1 pound amounts. So you see this one's 1.08 and this is 0.92. So total, that's exactly 2 pounds of stew meat. My husband only eats meat. He's like keto, so I'm gonna do both 2 pounds, and then me and the kids will have it with the pasta, and he can just eat the stew meat. Over here I have I have the crock pot, and then I have all of the things I'm going to add, which I know it seems like probably too much and overkill, but I'm going to do water as the liquid to help it kind of steam in the crock pot, and then I'll probably put better than bouillon in that beef base. And, you know, this stuff is like 10 calories for a teaspoon, so we'll probably use like a tablespoon, so we're looking at 40 calories for that. The McCormick pack is like 120 calories, so 160 for that, and then the rest of these are pretty much just seasoning. So salt, and then a Kinder Prime steak, garlic, onion, pepper, salt, and a garlic and herb. So I'm just gonna sprinkle those in there. I'll probably put like a tablespoon of garlic, chopped garlic in as well, and we're gonna let the stew beef just cook in this conglomerate of flavors for, see, it's noon right now. So we'll probably let it cook for like 6 hours. 6 hours on low, and maybe turn it up to high for the last 30 minutes or something. Alrighty, so in is gonna go the 2 pounds of stew meat. And then I am gonna actually mix up the bouillon with bouillon, I don't know how to say that. Okay, so I got 2 teaspoons in the water. I'm gonna just mix up the bouillon in there a little bit, let it break down a little bit before, I think it really needs to be hot to really dissolve, but just kind of chunk it up in there a little bit. Make it look a little bit more like beef broth before I actually dump it over the beef. There we go. And that's about 4 cups of water. I don't, again, no idea if that's right or not, but I feel like I tried to get close to covering the meat. That's kind of my MO. And then I look at the package and it has 470 milligrams of sodium per tablespoon, so I don't think I'm going to need to add that much salt. So we'll sprinkle in the beef stroganoff pack. Kind of give that a little mix. So I will have to use MyFitnessPal to look up the calories in stew meat because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure it's, I would guess around like 300 or 400 calories for 4 ounces. That's just what I know on steak. That's a pretty good average. So we'll say, you know, when I pull this out and make it with the noodles and stuff, I will use my food scale to measure how many ounces of the actual stew meat I'm getting after it's cooked. Because again, so far we have about 140 calories in here, besides the beef with the sauce mix. So we'll have that. Well, the beef, we'll have the sauce mix, we'll have the sour cream that I add, and the noodles. Those will be basically the 4 calorie sources for tonight's dinner. So we'll base how much protein I put on my plate based off of what everything else looks like. I do want to try to have the most calories expended based on protein, not on the carbs or the sauce. So I'm going to add just a little bit of the garlic and herb Kinder mix, because that's only 1 pack of stroganoff, but I did 2 ounces or 2 pounds of the beef. So we're just going to add just a little more, make sure there's enough flavor in there, a pinch of salt, and then I am going to put in some garlic. I have the pre-chopped garlic. It's pre-minced. I don't know if it's better this way. Probably. Minced garlic. 5 calories for a teaspoon. So I'm going to use a teaspoon, heaping teaspoon. Put that in. And then I thought, again, not part of any sort of recipe, but I was like, this could be good. I have pepperoncinis. So I'm going to throw a couple in here with this. And my husband can eat these. And I'll pour a little bit of pepperoncini juice in there too, just for a little extra flavor. Great. Okay, so then I'll put the lid on it and set it on low until probably about 5 or 5:30, and then we'll crank it to high right before dinner. And like I said, I'll do egg noodles, which is 200 calories for like at least 2 ounces, a cup and a quarter. So yeah, I'll calculate all this up before we eat so you have a good idea of what the total calories are, but that is gonna be dinner. Okay, and then the next thing I'm getting ready is my lunch. So I'm ready to eat my lunch. It is now 12 p.m. So this is, I call it pozole. Again, not sure if that's actually pozole. Basically we made it with a bunch of spices like adobo, cumin, garlic, salt, pepper in the Instapot with the chicken. It was shredded breast tenderloins. And then I added it to a pot with chicken broth, hominy, yellow corn, green chilies, and that's it. So there's actually no major carb in it. Obviously there's corn and the hominy have some carbs associated with it. And I do need to calculate what the calories are, but I think it's pretty low calories because the chicken broth is low, and then the chicken breast tenderloins are usually about 120 calories for 4 ounces. So I'm going to do 2 cups or 1.5 cups of this, heat it up and eat it for lunch. Again, trying to go a little bit lower carb because I'm going to have the pasta with dinner, and aiming for that 1,500 calorie mark. And right now we're at 210. Actually, I took 2 bites of my daughter's banana, so I think we're about 250. So we'll see where we're at after I calculate this, and I will update you. But here is that. Okay, so after I microwaved it, I was like, let me see how much chicken's actually in there instead of eyeballing it so I can be more precise with my calorie estimate. So I pulled the chicken out as best I could. It shows 8 ounces. Obviously, that still has some broth in that bowl and the corn and hominy. So I'm still going to go with 8 ounces, which should be about 240 calories worth of chicken. But the rest is going to be really low because that corn and hominy is like probably less than 1/5 of a can each. If that. And then the broth is obviously really low as well. And no oil or anything was used in this. So there's none of that hidden calorie added with that kind of stuff. Okay, I just got back from getting my hair done. So fresh locks this evening. And I'm going to finalize dinner. So I'm going to finish off the beef stroganoff from the crock pot. It's been cooking all day. It's actually 7:30, so it's been cooking a lot longer than I planned. I was planning on eating at like 6 or 6:30, but forgot about the hair appointment. So I am going to do a quick prep on that, and I'll show you as I'm making it. I've got to make noodles, and then I'm going to pull the sauce in the meat, weigh the meat, make the sauce with individual portions of the sour cream, and then I will put it in bowls over the noodles. So here is the beef, the stew meat in there with the sauces and spices, and those pepperoncinis I threw in there. And then I measured my egg noodles, and 1 serving is 56 grams for 200 calories. So because I'm splitting with the kids, I did 2 measured servings of that for 112 grams. So I tared the scale with the bowl on it and then poured the noodles in until it reached 112 grams. And my water is boiling, so I'm going to pour those noodles in now. All right, and while the noodles cook, I did weigh out the stew meat that will be in my bowl. So this is the size of the bowl. It's a fairly just small size bowl, and that is just about 4 ounces of stew meat. I looked it up on MyFitnessPal, and I think it was like 320 calories for 4 ounces, which is about what I expected. No, that's not true. It was 250. 250 for stew meat, which there's a lot of fat in there, which I'll probably pick out anyways. So I'll probably getting like 3.7, 3.8 ounces of stew meat. I'm still going to count it as 250 calories. And then pull out some sauce, add 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and then the noodles for 200 calories when that's done.
You want to